one of the biggest questions that I always see when I'm watching these project motor racing videos or any type of discussions is, does it have a single player? And the good news is, yes. Yes, it does. In fact, today we're going to be diving into the official career mode details straight from the developers themselves. What's going on, everybody? It's Magnus, and today that's what we're going to be breaking down. So let's get right into it. So the article starts off with them explaining about how sim racing has been a hobby for many decades, describing the idea of creating a single player from scratch. One of their goals was how do we make the single player fun for people who run 3 races to the diehards who run 20, 25, 30 races in a single campaign. Now, first they talk about the financial element. Obviously, the economy in a racing game is important. The article goes on to say, obviously, one of the first elements of any good racing career mode is some sort of financial element. Race cars cost money to buy and operate, and it's kind of cool when a game implements that. And I honestly, I do agree with that. You know, it adds to the immersion of being in the real thing, right? Just like how a game looks also adds immersion to like the whole simulation environment. This issue, though, is that weird continuity stuff that arises throughout the campaign modes. It's odd as an experienced sim racer to go through winning on ranked online plugins to boot up a new simulator just to be told that you're nobody with a 75 horsepower vehicle. So the article goes into more detail about how they're trying to avoid those issues, but I want to skip down to the part that's kind of interesting, right? Because they talk about the financial aspect of it, like the economy, about how true to the real life thing that they want it to be. And the game sets you up with 3 preset budgets, right? You got number 1, you have the 75k lower end starter car, where it's the traditional racing campaign, right? You build your way up to the top from rags to riches and all that good stuff, right? Then you have a second budget, which is $600,000 of choice of GT3 or any similar spec car, right? If you just want to go straight into those types of machinery. And then you have the $2 million budget if you want to go into legacy classes, which I assume, if it's not the cars in the GT1 category, or I guess the Group C category, like the Porsche 917 or 787B, it's probably something like the GTE class, like the Corvette GTE and the Porsche 911 RSR. Then the game specifies there is a 4th option if you want to run historic programs with absurd amounts of money to replicate, like Dentist Tour Amateur Racer, which I assume is like some sort of GT2-esque class, because that's what I was told GT2 was, right? Just pretty much like rich dentist assistants, you know, going to get their motorsports like experience through this class because it's more friendly towards amateurs. It's faster than GT4 but slower than GT3, so it's kind of like in that middle ground. So, which is, I'm guessing, what they're trying to go for. Now the article goes on to say, like, anytime you insert a financial element to the game, what normally happens is you normally play your cards right, you save up an obscene amount of money and you have nothing to spend it on, which in your point of view, it's kind of disappointing because they believe the best part of the career is typically the mid-game grind, where you still need to manage your money while also getting some extra cash. But to me personally, I've always found it like a benefit because, like in the older Need for Speeds or even the older Gran Turismo games, there will be times where I do make a financial decision that leaves me stuck stuck, that leaves me, you know, unable to progress because either my car is not fast, I bought the wrong upgrades and stuff like that. So it was always nice to have that cushion of cash that I needed in order for me to either buy a better car or buy significantly better upgrades. So I guess to each their own. What they're telling me is that they obviously, like, they're going for the most realistic and hardcore sims while also appealing to the casuals. It's interesting how they're going to like balance everything. Like it's going to be really really interesting. So later in the article, they explain like their inspiration was taken from their game director. He had gone to his family for some money in order to do some racing. They explained that while you know you can win, you know, lots of money from it, like $10,000. All of that money is going to be redirected towards other resources like, you know, food, transportation, you know, equipment, and all of that good stuff, right? Now, honestly, like the way they have it, the way they're describing it, right? From what I've researched, that's the way for everyone who's not in top tier racing, like who's not in F1 or NASCAR or the top tier classes. Alright, even some GT3s, GT4 categories, most drivers do not get paid to race. Most drivers pay to race, or rather, you know, either it's through their sponsorship deals or through their own pockets. Alright, the article continues. With each championship of Project Motor Racing, they have a fee, and they have an entry fee and an individual travel fee to stimulate at a streamlined level that the fact that your team must physically travel to an event which may be halfway across the world. Damage repairs are also something that you'll need to be mindful of, which as far as damage repairs goes, as far as damage repair goes, it really reminds me of Need for Speed Pro Street. That's the only other game that I can think of that, you know, you have to spend money to repair the damage of your car. That was kind of a new experience for me because I never had any other game do that before. No other Need for Speeds have done that. While you can repair your body damage in Gran Turismo, it's really not consequential to your performance. So that's something that, you know, it's kind of like, it's almost like a game changer to me personally. Like, it's really interesting that they implement travel expenses, like vehicle operations into like the campaign, because most of the campaigns I've played have never really simulated like full on motorsports, right? Like, for instance, right, the article talks about how travel and race payouts work. So not only are you going to have to factor in service costs for your car, but you're also going to have to factor in where you race as well. If your team is based in North America, you'll be able to, you know, get discounts on American cars. However, if you want to race in Europe, it will cost more than just racing on an American track if you're an American-based team, like you know, the track Lime Rock, right? Also, all championships in the game are structured to pay based on their real-world stature. So let's say, right, I know Asia or the Oceania region isn't really known for their GT3. They're known for like their silhouettes and like their V8 supercars and all of that stuff. So you racing in a GT3 championship over there is not going to pay as much as it was in Europe. So that's interesting. That's crazy, you know. Like, they've really gone all in on this campaign. Like, I've never seen anything like it before, you know. And one other thing that they talk about is sponsorships. Now they've really done their research. They've even studied professional motorsport sponsorship courses, and you have some negotiation deals that you can accept as part of your sponsorship, whether it be flat fees, whether it be like the percentage of money you win when you're winning races and stuff like that. So it's kind of crazy how far deep they have gone into this. I've never seen anything like this before. I know most sim racers, or I guess even just most racing games of this type, focus on the multiplayer. Gran Turismo had a pretty good campaign in the past, but it was nothing like this, right? This is the first time this level of immersion has really just taken this game. It's crazy. But that's all for this video. Now it's your turn. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. Are you guys excited for this campaign? Are you guys still waiting to see more details? And just let me know. And if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more racing. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.